All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elect in 1/3, and Adon Ratazah. This lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. And Tawadi Bashim El Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, suffer now, for the hour is near. Okay. And, usually lessons like these are not as popular, okay, amongst Jake, okay, because not every Israelite is not all Israel's Israel. Let me put it to you like that. So this lesson is specifically directed in the spirit to the sincere worshipers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, those that are feeling the fire. All right, you feel the heat. Okay, and you see that the Lord is dealing with you, even in grief and endurance and suffering. But that's where the Lord works at. The Lord works through the impossibles. The Lord works through tribulation, trials, temptations. That's where the Lord is at. Okay, and you have to understand that the purging that you're dealing with now is ultimately preparing you for the hour of temptation that's coming later. So it's a beautiful thing right now that, we're suffering for Yahweh Shai's sake, because Yahweh Shai himself is going to be the one that keep us from that great hour, that great tempting. Okay. Because aren't you being tempted now? Are you being tempted with being carnal? You're being tempted with seeking your own vengeance. All right. We're just speaking real here. Okay, you're not just sitting around in a lotus form, all right, and counting butterflies. It's real out here. But the point of this suffering that you're dealing with is to perfect you as a servant. So when the great suffering, the great hour, the great temptation comes, it's going to be another day in the office for you. And I speak as a man in that essence, but I also say it, humbly speaking, in faith in the spirit. All right. So enough of me yapping. All right. But I just want to say that, this is just for the sincere brothers and the very sincere sisters that are actually fighting that silent war, seeing the demons on people that other people don't see. All right. And that's one thing I noticed too. A lot of things we deal with, other people can't see it. Okay. And that's where you suffer wrongfully. So real quick, this is 2 Timothy 2:1. It says, be strong. It says, thou therefore, my son, right, and my daughter, therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we actually have to be strong now more than ever. All right, and remember, when thou art weak, then I am made strong. Okay, so we're being put in new positions that you haven't had to deal with before, but you're dealing with it now. Strength, look, endued. So you're being strengthened. Okay, you're being strengthened now. All right, and you're going through things that you might have not experienced before, because we're all getting ready to go through a day that's no day like it. So it makes sense for you to be dealing with new situations, new temptations, new new chastisement. All right, a lot of that, new sufferings. Okay, weird, strange things, but this is all to build you up. It's not to destroy you. Remember, we weren't brought into captivity to be destroyed. Okay, so you got to remember that. It's pretty much like the lesson I did not too long ago about having a sober mind and suffering. Okay, 2 Timothy 2:2, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. This whole thing is about us learning from faithful men, being taught by able-bodied men, so that we as well can teach others. Okay, it's like one hand washes the other. All right, one hand washes the other. So look, thou therefore endure hardness. All right, you're enduring hardness right now while the people are rejoicing, laughing, kikiing. Okay, so don't look at this as an isolated incident, or don't ever look at it like, why is this happening to me? No, the Lord is the perfect spiritual fitness trainer. He knows what we individually need to trim that spiritual fat to be that lean servant of success. Okay, I'm just trying to put it in words so you can visualize. You got to look at the situations you deal with as another way for you to get stronger. Okay, you have to look at these things and see the light of it. Don't always focus on the negative of it. You know, sometimes for me, I get annoyed dealing with bad leadership. And I'm not speaking about, well, in the truth, yes, but even in my daily, you know, people that are over me, that may be a boss or an operational manager, or, you know, someone with a Babylonian title, and then I see how they operate. And at first, you naturally, okay, the natural man or woman is going to react, you know, out of annoyance, but the spiritual man, okay, is going to understand, oh, okay, the Lord's going to set up a profitable leader in due time. You start processing things that are irksome or annoying, and you process it scripturally. And right now is the most important time for you to be drinking the milk. Okay. You know, we get it. We got to understand the breakdowns. We understand the prophetic scriptures. But if you are not drinking the milk while chewing the meat, you can miss the mark. Okay. Because the milk is what keeps us on a day-to-day when we're in the out and about. All right. And that milk keeps you solemn. It keeps you sober, and it keeps you looking ahead instead of being stagnant in the here and now. That's what Babylon wants. Babylon wants you to be stuck in this stagnant pool of confusion. Do not let it do it to you. Okay. Take everything that you're going through or dealing with, have dealt with, going to deal with, and look at the benefits of it and not the pain of it. Okay. Because everybody's feeling like when you let's say you do core. Okay. And you ever did a plank, and you shake it, and you just want it to be over, but you got to look past it being over and think about the benefits that come with you enduring longer. All right. So it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. So we got to man up. Okay. This truth is the best teacher for the Israelite man if he's being inspired through the Holy Spirit by men of the Lord. Okay. This is to build you up. All right. Now, this is actually a really good verse, and I'm going to get this, and I'm probably going to jump down because I just want to do a quick exhortation. You know, I'm not trying to take too much of your time. Look, it says, soldiers, don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life, for then they cannot please the officer who enlisted them. So we're enlisted in a spiritual army. So you have to remember that you in this walk are not to be Mr. or Mrs. Popular. It's actually quite the contrary, but that's to build you up. Everybody's pointing the finger at you. That's the chastisement. That's suffering wrongfully. But what do you take from that? Do you just sit there and, you know, this is wrong? Okay, a lot of things are wrong. It says don't marvel at it. In Ecclesiastes, it tells you not even to marvel at the fact that, you know, you see poor people being abused. It's verse 5. We're learning, okay, how to handle injustice. We're learning how to endure wickedness. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 5, and right here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Now let's go Ecclesiastes 5 and 8. Ecclesiastes 5 y 8. Right now, when you go down, let's see. NLT. Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried. See, and if justice in the province, marvel not. Okay. It says, for every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. So you go through a lot of BS at your job. Okay. The laws and legalities of the land. You know, it's like you want to have your day in court, but the day in court that I want to have is before the seat of Yahushua and Mashiach. We're not going to get true justice through the court system of Esau, Edom. Let me show you. This is 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of a Mashiach. So you're being built up right now to accept what you're going through so you can endure what's taking place, because ultimately your fear, your reverence, and your honor and your justice is coming from your God through your Savior, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? And so really the things that we deal with not only is to build us up, but to also show us the only Savior we have is Yahweh Shai. You know? It says, because I've been thinking about it, you know, you got a lot of Jakes that be their gripes, okay, their gripes and complaints are pretty much because they ain't been saved yet. But it says no man shall buy you. So you're not here to be saved by your cool white boss, you know, or your neighbor. Or, yeah, does the Lord allow your enemies to be at peace with you? Yeah. But a lot of times there's a lot of suffering that we deal with by ourselves. Of course, we have the brotherhood. You know, of course, there's a body, all right? But what I want to get across to you, the fellow suffering servant, is understand that that's where the Lord is working with you at, okay? And the times where you feel most alone, that's when you have more around you. Remember, Elisha told his understudy, there be more with us than with them. You're not alone. Don't ever think for a second that the angels that encamp round about you are taking a break, you know? Hey, even Daniel told those wicked wicked elders that an angel's ready to cut you in two. So we are in a time now when we're being done wrong, when we're catching our hell and we're being built up in it. You gotta have that spiritual smile in the back of your head, knowing that, hey man, if the Lord wants to, he could jack this up right now. But there's something that I need to learn from right here. There's something I have to gain. And like me personally, you know, this past year, there's been a lot of situations that have helped me be more patient, you know, be more of a considering in matters. Okay. And there's a lot of things that we're being built up in that we might have not had those attributes if it wasn't for the suffering. See? So you don't want to resist it. You embrace it. All right. Now, because look, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he has done, whether it be good or bad. So we all are going to appear. The people that lay snares against us, lie on us, dig pits against us, persecute us, okay, bear false witness against us. We all got to appear. Okay, so ain't no one exempt. So what you're tasting now, okay, is the cross that you're bearing. 2 Timothy 2:12, if we suffer, we shall also reign. So suffering plus patience equals reigning. Suffering plus patience equals reigning. I pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakodash that this lesson is reaching who it needs to reach to. This is why you have to understand that our elders and apostles tell us a lot of our people don't know what they're involved in because they're not suffering, okay? They've been given a bottle. They've been given a body. They've been given a camp, a title, and they just been thrown out into the field with no training, you know, no proper gear on. And now they got to go head to head with Satan, with Esau. A lot of them don't even got the name. So they're naked. This is why it says, don't let them see you be naked. Revelations, is that 16 and 15? Let me see. Let me put that red letter on. 16. Revelations 16 and 15. Because we're in a time too where, the battle is increasing on a level to where, Satan doesn't want you to be studying, doesn't want you to be spiritual, doesn't want you to watch lessons, okay? And then your day may not be the best day, so then now excuses start setting in to put off. No, we know not what will be on tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. So we have to put on as the elect today. We can't put on as the elect tomorrow. This is Revelation 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief, unexpected. Oh, where'd you come from? See? Blessed is he that watcheth, and Satan don't want you to watch, okay? The suffering, you got to keep watching while suffering. Keep watching while being patient. Keep watching while mortal BS of Babylon is constantly in your ear, notifying you, emailing you, calling you. You got everyone around you that they're literally programmed like the world ain't ending, because that's what they're programmed to do. And it says, and keepeth his garments. What's the garments? This truth. You have to keep this no matter what, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. You don't want to be naked in Jacob's trouble. Okay. You can't come before the Lord naked. You know what I mean? In this essence. Okay. You got to come before Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. With the wedding garment. We got to have this wedding garment on. Okay. Through it all. All right. Now it says 2 Timothy 2:12, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. See? So we don't want to deny Yahweh Shai. We don't want to deny Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We got to go through this. Discipleship tested. Okay? And remember this word test. All right? Look at this word test. Look at this word test. Check this out. Test, a procedure, all right, a baptism, a furnace, a tribulation, a trial. And don't gotta keep, I'm catching hell. No, you're not catching hell. You're just going through a trial right now. This is a trial run. This is a test run, because there is power within words, and we cannot fall under this dismal, mopey, no, hell nah. No. You got to start looking at the hell. see, even me. You got to start looking at this hell as a trial. All right. Remember, it said, Satan came for a season. All right. Satan came for a season. Let me see. Luke 4 and 13. Let me see. Luke 4. See, Luke 4 and 13. Give me this. Luke 4 and 13. And when the devil had ended all the temptation, he departed from him for a season. So you go through things for a period of time, but not forever. But that's where the trickery is. It wants you to think that there's no other way. This is the only. You can't have tunnel vision in suffering. Like all I am is just suffering. No, you're being built up. You're being built up. Spiritual gym. You in the spiritual gym now. Okay? Not in the gymnos. In the spiritual gym. All right? Now going back to word test. A procedure intended to establish the quality, performance, or reliability of something. Yeah, like remember they used to do that like cheaters test? Okay, so we're being tested to see if we're faithful brides. Okay? You sisters, you're a woman. So you know what it's like to be a faithful woman to your man, right? And then you've had men try to tempt you, okay? Or us as men, we've had times where a woman is married and still tries to throw remarks. So we're being tested. See, I'm just using that as a carnal example overall as us collectively together. See, we're being tested to see if we got quality. We're being tested to see what our performance is like. We're being tested to see if we are reliable of something, especially before it is taking into widespread use. Take the world. The saints shall take the kingdom. So you mean to tell me you think that you're just going to be raptured? That's what Christians, I'm just going to be raptured up. Nah, man. You got to be put to the test. You got to see what you're made of before the world is given back to you. Okay? So these are the things you got to be mindful of. It's the same way when you look at in this truth, you got to use carnality as analogy. Okay? You use carnality as analogy. You're under a probation. You go to work. You can't be late. You can't be this. You can't do that. You got to act like you want to be here. You know, of course, this isn't a chore to us, but I'm using carnality as an analogy for us moving forward. Okay? So we're all being tested before the hour of temptation. That's what I want to bring home. I'm not just doing this. Let's say, oh, you suffering and you got to suffer. No. You got to understand with suffering comes acceleration. Okay? Because now there's things you got to put your hand up. Hey, you got to admit things that you're going through now, you are reacting to in a better spirit than you would have a year ago, 2 years ago, a month ago, a week ago, a day ago. Okay? All right? The spiritual man is renewed day by day. You got to think about these things. Okay? You got to think about these things. All right. Now, this is Philippians 1:29. It says, for unto you it is given in the behalf of Hamashiach, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. So you have to put in your mind's eye, wow, I'm feeling what Yahweh Shai felt like. I'm suffering. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling his grief. I'm feeling what he was feeling. And it brings you closer to Yahweh Shai. So you got to start looking at suffering with a whole new attitude, okay? Especially now. If you can't handle waiting at a red light, if you can't handle your phone lagging, Wi-Fi cutting off, people at work, if you can't handle this daily bullshit, well, what are you going to do in Jacob's trouble, man? If you find yourself impatient, you got to check that shit. You really do. You find yourself with an attitude or you just you got to check that, Like the other day I said, what the fuck? I said, why Satan try to make, I'm not irritable. I'm good. But you'll have times where demons try to throw characteristics on you that could have been from the past. And you got, I don't want that. I'm good. I'm good. See, you got to watch these things. You got to watch it. All right. Well, let's read this one more time. This is powerful. For unto you it is given. See, you've been given a treasure in this earthly vessel in the behalf of Hamashiach. Wait a minute. So we've been given this on behalf of Yahweh Shai? Wow. Not only to believe on him, because you believe, but also to suffer for his sake. So not only do you believe on him, you got to suffer for him. So you got to put yourself last. You're suffering for him. And that is a beautiful characteristic when it comes to the servitude, okay? Just like a father does for his child, just like a mother does for his child. Going back, using you sisters as an example, and you out there that got kids, you ever had to wake your ass up, pop that titty? You know what I'm getting. I'm just being real. You might be tired, but that baby still got to eat. So you got to put yourself last. You got to change that diaper. The man, we got to get up. You don't always want to get out of bed and go to work. Hell yeah, this is what I like to do. But we're putting ourselves last because there's a responsibility that's coming. There's a responsibility that's been given. See? It makes sense. See how you use carnality as an analogy? You go, wait a minute. I already exude those characteristics. So then you say, well, why is my first response not to act like that here? Oh, that's the baptism. Oh, that's a demon I got to rebuke. Oh, see? Because Jake get up every day and go to work for Esau. But then he's dragging feet for camp. But you can use that carnality as an analogy. You can get up and do it for him. Then you can get up and do it for me. Meaning you could do it for Yahweh Shai. It says, having the same conflict which ye saw in me, and now here to be in me. Wow. And I always think about the brothers before us, the elders and apostles, like the things that, you hear what men gone through. And it's just like, man, I'm just thankful and grateful. Now one more, and then I got one more after that, and that's a lesson. This is Jude 1:3. Beloved, you ain't being called beloved in the Holy Spirit nowhere else. You could be called beloved or beautiful in the world, but by what? A demon? But here in this truth, you can be called beloved. You could be called the hopeful elect. There's a lot of beautiful, loving traits that are given to us that we don't even receive from the world. This is why you suffer in the world. This is why you go through what you go through in the world, because it's building the bridge back to Yahweh Shai, that Yahweh Shai laid his life down for us to be brought back. And that's the reconciliation. Okay. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you, see that? Of the common salvation. See that? We got a common salvation. It was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith. So you have to contend even for your faith. For what you've been given, you got to fight for that. Here it is, you got a gift, and now you got to fight to keep that gift. Contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. See? So this is a big deal. But everything, all that, everything you dealing with, everything you going through is to lead you up to a moment we're entering into. And let me get this beautiful precepts, because that's exactly right. And I also want to say shalom, all right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, Barakatham, to you brothers and you very few sincere sisters, you sincere servants, you suffering servants for Yahushai's sake. To you I say shalom. Now, check this out. Hebrews 12 and 11, 12 y 11. Now, no chastening. The car won't start. The red light. You had the red light, and then the car won't accelerate. Just paid the bill, but now this ain't working. Go to work. You doing your job, but the another shift ain't doing their job. But now everybody got to have a team meeting, and you got to be told to do your job, even though you've been doing your job. See what I'm saying? It'd be weird shit, but it's all good. It's to build you up, and then look around and be like, wow, look at how they're reacting, and I'm not reacting like that. But then I'll even be like, I used to react like that. We're not acting like Mr. Perfect, but we are fighting for perfection. Okay, and I said this yesterday. I said pain can do two things. Pain can create the most ugly things, or pain can create the most beautiful things you've ever seen. It's just a condition right now, So what is pain doing for you? This is Hebrews 12 and 11. Now, no chastening for the present seeming to be joyous. And one thing that I learned within chastening, do not allow the general public of people's opinion to dictate where you stand with your God and your Savior. Okay? Do not allow these. It's like, imagine Noah building the ark, but every time he cut wood, cut the gopher wood or nailed this or however it was built, but every time someone was laughing, someone was mocking, someone was scoffing. If you have that mindset, then you're not separating yourself. You got to separate yourself from the opinions of man, the opinions of woman, the opinions of mere mortals. Okay? They don't know what's going on. Even when it says in Isaiah 57, righteous men died, but men don't take an account. So you got to understand, they don't know what I'm going through. They don't know what I'm dealing with. That's a real thing. People are like, you don't know what I'm going through. But they really don't. It says, it don't seem to be joyous, right? You'd be like, now I am trying to laugh. I do see, I understand I'm suffering, and you want to laugh, but you're just dealing with it. But grievous, this shit is grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. See that? So in the end of the suffering, there is a peaceable fruit that bears within you, that changes you. It changes you for the better. You have to understand this. Temptation is a part of the trial, serving Yahweh Shema Shai while he may be found. So you can't marvel at it. You got to know how to handle it. Okay. And one more, the water for the precepts, Romans 5 and 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience is suffering. See, now let me get this patience right. Keep that word patience in mind. IUIC, hit the drum roll. Revelations 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. See, after all that, after all the strange and fiery trial and weird shit and demonic activity and people, demons and assholes, Edomites and dubs, niggas, after all the ups and downs and woes you go through, it's building you up for a day that these people are going to crash in for, man. They're going to break. See? So all this suffering is to build you up to be able to handle this hour that Yahweh Shai said he's going to keep us from. See? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everyone around you laughing, hee, ha, right? Got their little resources and their little toys and their family and homes and so-called prosperity. Those are the ones that are going to crack. See? Living a simple, minimal life, being content with what you have is truly building you up to get you ready for a day not like it in the spirit, in the mind. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast, which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. See? So that means this crown that we've been given, there it's trying to be taken from us. Okay? I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown, so that no one may seize your crown. So they headhunting. They're headhunting. Okay? I am coming quickly. Hold tight what you have so that no one will take your crown by leading you to renounce the faith. Do not let this place win. Don't let it win. Understand the battle. Understand what you're involved in so you can also process and understand when things happen. Okay? I just got to say this real quick. I'm telling you, it's the same way we were told in Baruch. You were not, this was not for your destruction. So the situations you go through, they're not to destroy you. Okay? It's not to destroy you, man. Baruch 4:6, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemy. See? So you're not going through this to destroy you. You're going through what you're going through to build you, okay? To purge you, to make you as gold, okay? That's what it's all about. So suffer now, for the hour is near. Suffer now, because the hour is coming later. So all the suffering you're going through now is to build you up so you're ready for that hour coming later. You know, so I just wanted to do that lesson, man. I truly pray that it's edifying. You know, it's comforting, exhorting. I pray that Yahushai's sheep are truly being fed. And I just want to say, call halal, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. Keep fighting, man. Just keep fighting. Okay, just keep fighting. All right, prophecy is taking place. Purging is taking place. And we're being perfected in our imperfections. And that's where the Lord works. So with that being said, shalom.